What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Today, we are checking out the Keeley Halo Core delay. This is based on a very popular delay that Robert Keeley and Andy Timmons collaborated on called the Halo. In my humble opinion, that's a standout delay. Let me know what you guys think of it. In that it was a smaller footprint delay that gave you presets. You had MIDI capability, expression control, all the stuff you could want, which is really cool. On the other hand, there are people, and I'm definitely one of them, that might prefer more just kind of, I'm making air quote, but analog control over their delay. In other words, it's a simpler delay. You just want a really nice sounding straight ahead delay with simple parameters that can be easily tweaked on the fly. Hence, the Halo Core. That's what this does, but it is a more simple format. So let's get right into what's on top of it. There's 3 knobs. The bottom knob on the left controls feedback. The top knob on the left controls delay time. And then the bigger knob on the right controls your delay level. You do have secondary or alternate parameters that can be changed by holding down the tap hold function. And this is really important to me. It's the thing I do want on a delay, is I want to be able to manipulate the tone of the delay especially. So if you hold down the tap switch, now you can manipulate tone. You've got a high pass filter and a saturate control, which is really nice. So obviously the tone control is manipulating the feedback or delay only. For me, sometimes I want it really dark. Sometimes I want it to kind of match the guitar. Sometimes I want it to really cut. And that, like I said, that's a very important parameter. The high pass is great if you want the delay to sound fuller or thinner without manipulating the tone. You can take advantage of that. We'll check it out in the demo. And then, of course, the saturate is really, really nice. You can go from no tape saturation to having the delay kind of emulate like a fatter tape thing, all the way to a really gritty tape sound. And we'll definitely check that out in the demo. But those are all the parameters that can be adjusted via those 3 controls. You have a switch in the center that is a 3-way switch. In the down position, and this is for your tap function, in the down position it does dotted 8ths, which is your edge thing. In the center position it does quarter notes. In that up position it gives you that ever so magical Halo Timmons thing, and we'll check it out in the demo. But that's where I started with this delay, and I was very inspired by that sound. I really dig it. You have 2 switches on the bottom. You have a tap switch on the right that also, if you hold it down, will do an infinite hold. We'll check that out in the demo. On the left side of the pedal, you have your on-off. You can set that up for true bypass or buffered bypass. I left it in buffered bypass. You have stereo in and out on the front of the pedal, which is great, 9-volt DC. Let's check this thing out. It is the Keeley Halo Core. All right, let's check this thing out. Here's the guitar with nothing, straight to the amp. And here is the Halo Core. Okay, so I'm starting out in that halo mode, that upper position of the 3-way switch. It's what inspired that whole song. It's one of my favorite types of delay that multi-tap, that Andy Timmons thing. And what I loved about it is when I was first turning the delay on, I had it in quarter notes just to kind of figure out how it's sounding and how everything works. And I had tapped in a tempo and I thought, I'm going to try the halo thing with this. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to retap, but I didn't. I just threw it to that and it was instantly that sound and I could just start composing. So it's definitely one of my favorite sounds in this delay. And I dig that you can get to it really, really easily just simply by throwing a switch. So it's really lovely. Let's just look at the feedback. Obviously, you can go from just one repeat all the way to infinite. I love this tap hold function. You saw me demonstrate that, so we know how that works. I dig the trail as you let off. It's nice and subtle. It's not too fast, but it's not too slow. But at the same time, I still prefer to just kind of manipulate the feedback via the control. So here's obviously one repeat all the way to infinity. So very cool. Depending on how you, obviously the input to it is going to affect, how soon it oscillates, how much it oscillates, all that kind of stuff. That's how that works. It, does what it's supposed to do. Obviously, delay time goes from 0 all the way to 1500. I don't need to demonstrate that other than to show you. Normally, I'll just tap something in. But if I am doing more of a slapback thing, like maybe a one repeat slapback, then I'll do it via the, if it doesn't necessarily have to be in perfect time, I will do that via the delay time. So that's how that works. Obviously, your output level of the delay itself. So it can get quite a bit above unity. So if you wanted to, you could actually drive, like, let's just try it. I haven't tried this, but I just realized you could probably do it. We'll go short delay time, feedback off, and we'll turn that all the way up. So you can definitely push the amp harder. There is some kind of modulation happening there, but that sounds cool. You can probably, using the tape saturation, get even more out of that. And speaking of chorusing, that's the other thing you can do is in that Timmons mode especially, you can get a really nice chorus by keeping the feedback down and your delay down quite a bit. Or even more of a flange thing. So that's a really cool feature to have that you can dial in if needed. Sounds pretty cool. Okay, so we've looked at that. Obviously, you guys understand how tap tempo works. So obviously there's the halo mode that's multi. In quarter note, there's your quarter note. Obviously, if you go to eighths, The edge, I ain't. But let's check out the alternate settings. So you can change the tone of the delay. There's a high pass filter and tape saturation or effect. Let's check out the saturation thing first. You can manipulate that by holding down the tap button or foot switch, and then you can change the parameters. So in this case, it's going to be the delay level. If we hold down the tap switch, it's now tape saturation or saturation. So this is with it all the way off. If we want to go the other way and have it get a little bit more gritty, now it's a little bit fatter. I really like it right there. Or we can go to the extreme and make it really gritty. Which is actually really cool, which kind of brings me back to trying the so that's another cool setting. You know, same concept as I did before, but with tape saturation. So that's what that's doing. I like it about where I had it, which is about right there. Yeah. Nice and fat. Let's try out the tone. Same deal. Hold down tap, and now you're changing the feedback setting, but it's the tone of the delay that you're manipulating. So this will be darker, all the way to brighter. So it really just depends on how you want it to sit in the mix. Sometimes you want the delay to cut through without adding delay, so maybe just make the delay brighter. Sometimes you want it to take up some more space and be really fat, so you'd make it slightly darker. It's really up to the user. I like it about right there. It's just a little bit darker than the guitar. Now, last but not least is the high pass, and that's up here. That would normally be your delay time. If you go all the way to the left, this will be more subtle. If you go all the way to the right, it's brighter because it's cutting. Sounds more clear. If we go the other way, because there's more low end coming through, you know, fatter. Same thing. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle with that. So that is the Halo Core by Keeley. If you've got any other questions about it, as I always say, go to the website and check it out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.